Now, this recording here shed light on my artistic legacy in general, of all my poetry and exhibitions of the sort and adventures of nature. And most of it is latent, meaning latent. And it's things that I could do that I didn't get a chance to because of what happened to my life in an unnatural contrutse. And I am so blessed artistically that I can create stories of superior nature and all types of adventures and journeys of heavenly royalty, and also movie C fictions and things like what other people claim to be able to do, but I myself could do it for real. Um, it's really no place to start. It's safe to say what I am as an artist, but I am somebody who is able to do exceedingly above the measure of anything set before me, or in the sight of the public or the people in this country or any other country, because I'm blessed for that reason, and I'm able to do it, and also can prove it. But I don't like to say it, but I like to prove it. And so, artistically, I love going on journeys and adventures and doing these things. But my life was put in a place, uncommon, unnatural, to the point where I had to speak about the circumstances more than I did about the things I love to do, see, and talk about. So if I got to talk about the things I don't want to in order to live or eat, then I had to. But they put me in a position where I had no choice but to talk about them. Yeah, they on purpose. And so they put me in a position where I had no choice but to see them on purpose instead of what I otherwise wanted to discuss, speak about, and enjoy. As part of my own artistic talent and adventures and journeys. And so, well, as far as my own. And so, I never really said that I was doing anything that I'm not supposed to, but I did say that if I can do art, that I can go anywhere with it. And I got the talent and the ability to be able to do so. And that's aside from Victorious, and that's aside from any musical artwork that I did do or say or able to complete or celebrate. This is all about acapella, artistic flows, rhymes, legacy, and artistic ambitions, and the things I could do righteously. And that's what it is. It's not a challenge for me to create art, but it would be for the average civilian or the average person. But for me, these things come easy and natural for me to freestyle and create these stories and things. But to others, it's not. Now, the Victorious album was a deal of lunacy because I did something that no one else would do for the first time in history. So the Victorious album was lunacy because I kept it when nobody else would keep it. During the time when I was being attacked in ways that I couldn't defend against, with things that I never heard of, saw, nor imagined. And since I'm under attack at the same time, simultaneous to what I'm saying and doing, and that's what was happening. But I did the Victorious album as an unnatural chronoso could work from heaven italics, which means I did it in a way righteous in spite of the turmoil I was facing. So I didn't really care about anything else, even though the threat and terror is there, and it is real, and it is danger. But I didn't really care because what I saw was more valuable to me. Yeah, it was more valuable to me than the threat of death or torture or torment. And so I did win in every which way, artistically, but I didn't stay with it because I knew I wanted to do more forever than to just stay with it and worry about what the enemy did to me forever, which is not my ways or my plans. And since I didn't choose to stay with whatever the enemy was doing to me, I left and moved on to better things. But when I started doing things like normal work and order and structure, then that's because I had to in order to live in any which way. But I didn't choose to stay with anything like that for my whole life. But I had to do things at the time that was not needed later on, and vice versa. And so I stayed doing what I could do, and I didn't really care. But Victorious is something that basically all my work. It's not the raps or it's not the freestyles, but the freestyles is still me, and it's separate though. And that's just the way I do it, because that's my ways, and that's the only excuse. And so I won it in a different way on purpose, in a way that prohibits my enemies from doing anything that they wanted to do with me and my legacy, work, body, fuel, or anything else, resources that I might create for them to do or use. And so I did it in a way where they couldn't. In every reasonable challenge. But if they somehow still is, then you living in military zone part AJ. And that's to say you in a position that is not being said is radios by anyone. It's not being said by anyone in the public media or anything of that like and certitude, because they were not legally eligible or cancer patie say quote unquote eligible for who I am as a deity, an entity, an influence, a brand, a name, or anything that I could do without it being said, in spite of the lack of publication or promulgation of my brand that I deserve in America or any other place where I stand. Because I didn't break the law or against the flag. So I did everything I was supposed to regardless. Like Mr. Carrag, when he was doing that harness with that just a lag.